In our last video, we talked about object metadata, and we said that we wanted to understand how OSM was like a wiki, and that we were going to examine changes, and we were going to answer our sort of standard 5 questions of who, what, when, where, and why a change occurred. So we said that the who was answered by the object metadata, and it contained the user name and user ID. Every object contains the username and user ID of the last modifier, last person to change an object. The what is sort of in every object, right? It's the geometry of that object, the tags of that object, and of course the object metadata that we talked about last time. We said that the when was contained also in the object, so we had the timestamp, right, which is just the date and time that the object was modified, as well as we said we had a version number. Right, which was just a number that keeps track of when the object changed. So let's talk a little bit about the where and the why. And I'm not going to go into a great deal of detail about this, but just enough so that you can understand the basics of how it works. So let's say that this is our editor here. Okay, this is our editor window. All right, and we'll add some objects, make some nodes, and we'll make a way. Right? The details aren't important. So, we're going to make a bunch of changes. Okay, so we'll just call that. There's no formal name for this, so we'll just call that a bunch of changes. And then we're going to have our OSM server here. OSM. So basically, when you upload your changes to OpenStreetMap, when you hit that save or upload button, those changes, this bunch here gets put into what's called a change set. And a change set has an ID, just like all our nodes and ways and relations have ID numbers. So do change sets, and just like nodes and ways and relations, change sets also have tags. So just the same way we use the tagging system for our objects, we also use our tagging system for change sets. And the most common change set tag is the most common change set tag. The most common change set tag is comment. Comment. Oops, let me make that a little more clear. Comment. That's an E. Let's make that MENT. Right. So that's our tag, and we will have some free text here about whatever that change was. So let's say, added Elm Street. Okay, and we don't need these quotes, but I'm just showing that this is a free text tag, and we talked about that in the tags video. So this is a free text field. And that's usually that's really a very encouraged field, a tag that's associated with change sets. Another tag that's very common in change sets is created by. Created _by, and this is the editor that was used. So not a person, but the computer program. So the most common ones here are Potlatch or JAWSM, but there are others as well. So those are the two most common tags that are associated with tag sets. But another one that people sometimes use is source. So if you're using aerial imagery and you're tracing, you might put the source of that aerial imagery. So some of the most common ones you'll see here is Yahoo, because they gave some imagery to OpenStreetMap, and this should be actually lowercase. I think it's okay to uppercase. Or more recently, Bing. And so those are the two most common. You'll sometimes see other sources. So sometimes people will just say, if they've collected the data themselves, survey. So that's another common answer. This is technically a free text field, but you'll see some common ones. So that answers our why, right? Because it will be in the change set comment. And so that just leaves our where. And our where is automatically calculated because OpenStreetMap looks at the change set. So it looks at this change set and it finds the area of change. So it looks, so let's just say this is our worldwide map, and your changes are somewhere here. So you've made some changes. OpenStreetMap servers will look at that and will draw a little box around your changes, and it'll call that a bounding box. Okay, and it will associate this bounding box automatically with your change set. Okay, so a change set has a bounding box, and that's calculated automatically. So that's, we'll call that B box of change set. And we can also often go from the object, so I'll go the other way. So the objects are our node way relation. We can also often, we can derive the change set. So we can go from here to the change set, right, where we can then look at who and what changed in the change set, and the tags associated with that change set, and the geometry, so the B box. So if we've got a question about when an object was changed, we can look at that change set. Now, I just want to go over one small thing, and not in great detail, but if you notice here, I said we have a bunch of changes, and that goes into a change set. That's because we can have multiple bunches of changes into one change set. So a change set is not one change or even one set of changes. It's a collection of changes, and that can span some time, and that gets a little bit complicated, so maybe we'll cover that in a future video. But I just wanted to go over the concept of this thing called the change set, that's how things are saved in OpenStreetMap, that they have ID numbers, they have geometry, and they have tags, and that sort of closes up our explanation of looking at changes. So it answers our who, because also the who is saved in the change set too. So when you save a change set, you have to give your username and password, so that's also saved in the change set. The what is saved in the change set, that means what changes occurred. When change sets also have timestamps, where those changes occurred in the B box, the bounding box of that change set, and the why is located in the comment. So that covers all of the basic objects in OpenStreetMap. And I think, if you just were to stop here, you'd have a very solid understanding of OpenStreetMap, the OpenStreetMap system. But hopefully you'll keep going, and I'll see you in the next video.